I just finished my short webcomic. It is my first personal completed story, which makes me really happy because I just reached a milestone. Even though it may be small, it is a checkpoint that I finally passed. Hopefully, I can reach more heights in the coming future. I learned some truths whilst working on this webcomic that'll hopefully help me with my other webcomic I'd like to come back to. Working on this webcomic really gave me an experiential understanding that it is okay with not being perfect. It's okay if my work is not perfect. Perfection comes with constant practice. Perfection is a journey. Some reach the peak faster than others, and that is okay. At the end, it's our own journey to perfect a skill. With my last webcomic, I restarted it about 3 whole times because I was so focused on getting rid of the imperfections. I ended up not making progress in the story. There was a film I saw back in grade school about 2 artists. One artist focused solely on perfecting his one piece, whilst the other artist accepted that he'll need to learn and perfect his skill, and he created mini pieces. Over time, the artist that accepted that he was imperfect ended up perfecting his craft, and his artworks got better, whereas the artist who solely focused on trying to fix his imperfection made no progress at all. You see, if I had minded my imperfection, I would have made progress in my last webcomic, because over time I could have looked back and saw where I started from and where I would have been now. However, since I focused on perfecting my last webcomic, I practically delayed that experience I could have had. There are stuff I'm not happy with in this short webcomic I just created, but looking back to the first chapter and the last chapter, I can see that I've greatly improved artistically, like my line confidence, my coloring, and even with drawing hands. Sometimes it's hard to mind my artistic imperfections, and I listened to some videos giving tips on how to make a webcomic, and they all said to start off with a small story. So I finally heeded to their advice and took a detour from my main webcomic to work on a short story that I had drew in my sketchbook back in 2021. I was so focused on perfecting the plot for my main webcomic that it became overwhelming. I added more and more side projects, thereby overcomplicating my serialized webcomic. I wasn't focused on writing the story anymore. Instead, I was so focused on ironing the small wrinkles. And don't get me wrong, when writing a story, it's best to be absolutely thorough, but it is also best, in my opinion, to be concise. Don't add more work than what you already have to do. From starting small, it encouraged me to experiment a bit. It also taught me to adapt. For example, in one of the chapters in my short story, I used a different program and a different font. My art application of choice is usually Procreate, but to play around a bit, I decided to do a chapter on my laptop using the art application called Krita. It was quite a learning curve since it had been a while since I last used a program like that. It caused me to be more open-minded regarding using different programs. While I'm not exactly too proud of that chapter, which was due to technical difficulties with my laptop, pen, and even my mouse, it is a testament to adaptability and being able to be versatile and flexible. Thus, from my detour to my short story, I was able to pay attention to small details. Like, in my opinion, I was able to improve on drawing hands. My style changed a bit, and I actually didn't rush. I took my time. I put in more effort into creating backgrounds, getting references if I had to. It was like walking around a garden, trimming and pruning whatever needed attention. And you'll need a keen eye for that. For me, starting small, it allowed me to see the small details, like further developing my style. It even showed me what I needed to work on. Like, in my opinion, I need to work on drawing clothes more accurately. here too. In my opinion, I've learned some fundamental values, even though these aren't new ideas, through my own experience. I gained a deeper understanding of these ideas, and I wish to apply them as I go along on my own journey of artistic perfection, and hopefully apply them to other aspects of life as well.